And for this next fight, we got Jake Hadley taking on Malcolm Gordon in the flyweight division. Both these guys have produced some pretty fun performances so far. Jake Hadley's had 2 UFC fights. He had a really good showing in his second UFC performance, and he had a good showing on the Contender Series. And in his first UFC fight, he had a tough fight. He fought against Alad Nascimento, who's a training partner of Charles Oliveira. Fights kind of a similar style and just got out-grappled in that fight. Malcolm Gordon, he looked on his way out in the UFC. He got knocked out quickly in his first 2 fights with the promotion, but he made adjustments and came back strong. He won 2 UFC fights in a row, got a first-round finish, and even in a loss in his last fight, he had a good showing. He had some good moments against Muhammad Mokaev, and he's looking to get more than a moral victory this time around, though, and pull the upset. And he's skilled, he's dangerous, he's an action fighter. On the feet, Gordon brings the pressure. He has nice high guard, long arms, fast hands, good jab, good 1-2s down the pipe, and solid kicks. He does a good job of feinting and kind of heading off the cage so he can back fighters up, force them into the pocket. And he's willing to pressure fighters, flurry with heavy punches when they're near the cage. He has fast kicks, nice front kicks. He has okay defense, but tends to let shots up the middle come up and hit him, like knees, front kicks, uppercuts. Hasn't shown a great chin either. And early on in fights, Gordon has had issues with getting hit cold, hurt. And the last few fights, he's done a better job starting faster, but he's gotten rocked or finished in a lot of fights early in the first round. He is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He has a dangerous submission game. Wrestling has caused him issues. Offensive wrestling isn't really a tool he has, and defensive wrestling is something that he's below average at. He tends to overextend and get real wild and give up takedowns too. And his guard is dangerous. If you aren't careful, he'll throw up an armbar or a triangle. His sweeps aren't bad either. And Muhammad Mokaev was able to hold him down for the large majority of the fight, and eventually he did submit him. But Gordon was also able to sweep, get on top. He was able to lock in a rear naked choke towards the end of round 2 that looked pretty tight. And then he even took the back again briefly in the third round. But Gordon, he doesn't really get on top of many fights unless he drops or hurt fighters, or he could sweep them when they take him down. So tends to be more of a striker, and he does great cardio, but he puts himself in danger of being finished. His takedown defense isn't good, so he has holes, but fighters just have to be careful because Gordon is a good pocket fighter and he has a decent submission game. But Jake Hadley's big for the weight. He can match the size of Gordon, and on the feet he's a pressure fighter. He has fast hands, power, nice 1-2s down the pipe. He has very technical, clean boxing. His defense is good, high guard. He is a little bit plotty, and he can be susceptible to body shots, but he mixes in fast kicks. He has nice uppercuts, good knees, which I think he's going to have to use in this fight. And he has a power to hurt Gordon if he lands clean. He just needs to be composed and not get in a pocket battle with Gordon and just be a more technical striker in there. And Hadley is a good grappler, solid offensive wrestler. His defensive wrestling is a little questionable. He stands tall, and he can be, shot in, fighters can get in on him and take him down. But he trains at a good jiu-jitsu gym, and it shows off his back. He's very good. He has a good submission game. He can create sweeps. Very flexible guy. And he did hit a triangle off his back in his last fight. So I do think whenever Hadley loses going forward, it's probably going to be against someone that can hold him down. But he's the better grappler in this one, I think, for MMA. And when he can get on top, he's beastly. Great ground and pound, strong submission game. When he gets to the back, he has good rear naked chokes. And personally, this should be a good match for Hadley. He's a sizable favorite. And I think that his power is going to be an issue for Gordon, especially if he can land early. And it could lead to a club and sub or a TKO finish. And I also think that Hadley has a chance to take Gordon down, tire him out, and then finish him later in the fight, kind of similar to what Mokaev done. So I'll say that Hadley gets a second round submission win in this fight.